Winter Book for Kids. Story about a snowman. Adventure stories for kids. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. Alwyn lives up north in a cold, freezing area of the country. What he doesn't know, though, is that it has its benefits. He hates the snow and he hates the weather, until he finds a way to make his snowman come to life. His husky dog, Timber, is happy to see a new friend in the yard, but when he gets captured, perhaps Alwyn and his snowman need to descend into a lower, hotter place. A place where everything melts fast, the lava world. Listen to the story about a young guy in the world who goes on an adventure with his snowman to rescue his dog. Chapter 1. Nothing to Do. He felt bored. It was a snowy day outside, and even though his husky, Timber, was jumping up and down to be released and let outside, Alwyn didn't feel like getting covered in snow again. He was tired of the cold climate. "Why does it always have to be so cold?" Alwyn complained. He picked up a drawing of an exotic paradise. "That would be nice," he said. "Snow is boring." He looked through the window and saw parts of the mountains. Then he picked up a piece of paper and a pencil and began to draw. Alwyn drew action figures and cool swords. His adventurous spirit was only made manifest in his artistic creations. He loved drawing. It calmed him down at times when he was frustrated, and at this moment there was nothing else to do anyway. Living on his own had paid off. He was able to collect a lot of money by joining a team of loggers here in the northern part of the country. But his cabin got extremely cold sometimes, and some of the wood he chopped would immediately be used for the fireplace when he would figuratively freeze his fingers off. Alwyn was 20 years old now, and he had told his parents he would set off on a journey to make money and come home afterwards. It had been months, and despite his savings, he found the weather to be a disappointment. His husky, Timber, was his best buddy, and even though Alwyn would rather stay inside and draw all the time, his dog often convinced him to get some fresh air. "Woof, woof," Timber barked. "Do you want to see what I drew, Timber?" Alwyn asked. "Woof, woof." "Okay, I will show you. It's a flaming blaze that is being attacked by a snowman. Have you ever heard of snowmans, Timber?" "Woof, woof." "Does that mean yes or no?" I can never tell. I wish I spoke dog. Oh well, do you want to go outside?" "Woof, woof." "Okay, I'll get my coat. Hold on, I will be right there." Alwyn grabbed his red coat, some gloves, and a light green hat. As soon as he opened the door, Timber ran outside, marking his territory in the way that dogs do. "Don't give that pine tree too much water," Alwyn shouted. "It's going to be the biggest tree in the universe." He sighed. This is actually quite nice," he said. "Just being outside gives me some variety in my daily life. I mean, the last lumber we brought in was last week. I wonder what the other lumberjacks do on their days off." He took his hands out of his pocket and looked at the snow. "That makes me wonder," he said. "Now that I drew a snowman, I wonder if I can make one for real. I mean, I always heard other people talk about those, but I've never seen one." The thought kept him occupied as he walked around the neighborhood with his husky, so much that he considered doing something about it. Chapter 2. Building a Snowman. Alwyn came home with his dog. He put his feet on the seat just because he was home alone and could do whatever he wanted. He put his hands behind his head and leaned back in his chair. Then a book on the shelves in the corner of the room caught his eye. "Winter Creatures," he read out loud. "Interesting. I didn't know I had that book." He got up and walked towards the book. Then he picked it up and opened it. "Let's see," he mumbled. "Those are some weird things. Wow, I didn't know I could create my own wolf or summon a blizzard. Whoa. It looks a little too hard, though. I don't have those ingredients. What else is in there? Aha! How to build a snowman. That's what I was looking for. I can hardly believe the answer to my question was in this book all along. Weird. As Alwyn sat down and began to read, Timber jumped on his lap. Woof! Woof! I know, I won't forget you. It says here that I have to build a snowman and put a pumpkin head on it. Wow, I never knew that, but it makes sense. They use it as a helmet. Are you ready to go to the store then, Timber? Woof! Woof! I'll take that as a yes. Let's go, buddy. He jumped up and ran out the door with his jacket, his gloves, and his hat. After walking through the snow with his pet dog for a half hour, he entered a little shop with strange, occult items. There were skulls, fake snakes, soothsaying items, potions, pickaxes that were supposed to be magical, and stones, rocks, and diamonds in every color. "Good afternoon," the vendor said. "What can I do for you?" "I am looking for a pumpkin head." "Nice. I just happen to have one left from Halloween," the vendor said. "Here, look at this one. It's a beauty." "Looks good enough. That will do. Thanks." Alwyn paid the vendor and took the pumpkin out of the little shop. He went home and told his dog, "Come on, Timber, let's build that snowman." Alwyn gathered a lot of snow, and the husky dug for some snow as well. Together they piled up the snow, and Alwyn created several basic snowman shapes. He put the carved pumpkin on top of the snowman and stepped back. "So?" he asked. "Now what?" He waited and waited. Nothing happened. "Hey, stupid snowman, come alive already!" Still nothing. "Ugh! This is pointless. Why didn't it work? It's supposed to work." Timber barked at the snowman, trying to help out his owner. Then he growled. Finally, even the husky was fed up with the boring snowman. He lifted his legs. "No, Timber!" Too late. The dog peed on the snowman. "Let's go inside, Timber. We can't do anything else to it. This is dumb. What a waste of time." Chapter 3. The Wish. That night, Alwyn wished that the snowman would come alive. "Then I will at least have someone to talk to," he said as he knelt next to his bed. "I mean, I love my dog. There is nothing wrong with Timber, but he can't talk back. It's different." He fell asleep and started dreaming. He found himself on top of a beautiful mountain. The sky looked purple, orange, pink, and yellow. The sunlight slightly touched the surface of the snow in the distance. Alwyn looked to the right. It was getting dark. And then he saw something that was more amazing than anything he had seen in his life: the northern lights. It was as if reflections were bouncing up and down, dancing and showing off to get his attention. "Amazing," Alwyn said. He looked to the left and noticed some wolves run up the mountain. "Uh-oh," Alwyn said. "I better get out of here." He ran down the other side of the mountain and tripped. While he rolled through the snow, he was approaching a giant rock, but he couldn't stop. He kept rolling and fell right into it. "Ouch," he said as he woke up. "Huh? Oh, it was just a dream." He looked at his dog, which was sleeping in the corner of the room. The cushion looked nice and soft, and Alwyn was happy to see that his pet was satisfied. Then he looked through the window. "Hey, what the—" he said. Timber instantly woke up. "Woof, woof," he barked. "The snowman is gone, Timber. It's gone," Alwyn said. "Let's find it." He put on his coat and ran outside. He looked all around him. Where did it go? Did someone knock it over? Alwyn looked on the ground and scratched his head when he saw that there wasn't a particularly large pile of snow heaped up anywhere. It just didn't make any sense. Where did the snowman go? Suddenly, Alwyn felt someone tapping him on the shoulder. He turned around and jumped up into the air. "Whoa, what is happening here?" he exclaimed. The snowman was standing there with the pumpkin on his head, and apparently there was no one else in the area, so it must have been him that tapped him on the shoulder. Are you alive?" Alwyn asked. "Woof, woof," Timber barked. Of course I am alive, the snowman said. Didn't you summon me? Alwyn thought for a moment. The snowman was right, but Alwyn just didn't expect it to happen anymore. He gave up when nothing moved the previous day. Yes, I did, he finally said. I didn't know you could talk. What's your name? You can name me, the snowman said. Really? Is it because I made you? That's precisely it, the snowman said. So what's it going to be? What will be my name? Snowflake, Alwyn said. Nice to meet you, Snowflake. My name is Alwyn, and this is my dog, Timber. Good to meet both of you. What do you want me to do now? You mean you want me to tell you what to do? Alwyn asked. Yes, you are my master. Oh, okay, that's cool. How about you shovel my driveway? The shovel is over there. Sure, the snowman said. I will do that. When I am done, let me know what else I can do. No problem, Alwyn said, rubbing his hands together. He was beginning to like this. Now he had two creatures that obeyed him, a dog and a snowman. The snowman took the snow shovel and began shoveling Alwyn's driveway. It only took him about 20 minutes until he was done. Wow, that was fast, Alwyn said. What would you like me to do now? Snowflake asked. I think I want to have a snowball fight. I haven't had one of those in a long time, and Timber just runs around barking, so it's no use trying that game with him. Okay, Snowflake said. When do we begin? We begin right now if you want. But before Alwyn could finish his sentence, the snowman had already thrown a snowball in his face. Ouch! Whoa, good hit! Get ready to lose, Snowflake! The two of them went at it. They picked up as much snow as they could and began throwing it at each other. Alwyn lost within minutes, since the snowman was too fast at picking up and throwing snowballs at him. But he still had fun, and when he was down, Timber would lick his face. They had a blast. Chapter 4. Dog Gone. Alwyn left the snowman outside during the night. The snowman didn't want to be inside anyway. It would make him melt. Alwyn went to sleep and dreamt, but he didn't remember his dream. When he woke up the next morning, he glanced at the corner. Strange. Usually that was the spot where Timber would fall asleep. Alwyn looked to the other corner of the room. Timber wasn't there either, so Alwyn was beginning to worry a little. He got up and put on some clothes. Walking around the house, he called out his cute husky's name. Timber, where are you? Suddenly he saw something suspicious, burning marks on the floor. What? What is that? Alwyn said. He bent over and touched them carefully. It was as if someone or something had entered his house and burned pieces of the floor to get to his dog. Timber, he yelled again as he ran outside. Are you there? What's the matter, Alwyn? He heard from the other side of the house. Snowflake came around the wooden shed next to Alwyn's house and asked him what had happened. My dog is gone. This is not typical for him. He doesn't usually disappear like this. And when I look at the burning marks in the living room, I can't help but think that he has been kidnapped. I mean, dog-napped. Let me take a look, the wise snowman calmly said. He followed his owner to the front door and gazed at the wooden floor. Yes, definitely burned, he said. I am afraid that this could only mean one thing. What? What is it? Alwyn asked impatiently. A blaze. Really? A blaze? A blaze. They live in the lava world, which is on the other side of the mountains. It's an underworld with dangerous monsters. Sometimes they escape their realm and steal something from ours. What are they going to do with a husky dog? I have no idea, but we can go after it. Yes, let's do that, Alwyn said. Hold on, the snowman said. Don't forget to take some food, some drink, and most of all, a weapon. I have an iron axe in the shed. I will take that, Alwyn said. And if anyone or anything tries to stop me, I will chop them in half. Come on, Snowflake. Let's go to the lava world. Chapter 5. Down to the Lava World. The journey was tougher than Alwyn thought it would be. Walking uphill wasn't easy, especially with all the snow there. Alwyn was still reflecting on what had just happened. Suddenly, he decided to take off and leave his little home behind to search for his dog in the lava world, of all places. What was he thinking? "You better be right about this," he told Snowflake, who was quietly following him and leaving a trail of snow behind him. "I can assure you that I'm correct, Alwyn," he said. "I cannot afford to lose my dog. Not only is a husky extremely expensive, but I love that cute fluffy animal with all my heart, and if I see the Blaze who did this, I will kill him." "I will help you with that," the snowman said. "How are you going to help me?" Alwyn asked. "I can throw snowballs." "Yes, but do they have snow in the lava world?" "No, quite the opposite, actually. It's super hot." "So you'll melt, won't you?" "Not necessarily," Snowflake said. "If you can find a potion of fire resistance, I will be able to follow you into that dark, evil place." "And how do I get a potion like that?" "Oh, you'll just need certain ingredients. You'll need glowstone dust, which you can mine in the lava world. Then you'll need a ghost tear and a lava world wart. You can farm the lava world wart on soul sand when you get there, so those two wouldn't be any problem." "But you mentioned 3 elements. How do I get a ghost tear?" "A ghost will have to drop it," Snowflake said. "That's a bummer," Alwyn said. "That doesn't sound easy." "It isn't, but trust me, it's worth it. Once you have the potion of fire resistance, I can help you a lot when you face other enemies in that dreadful realm." Okay. I will keep my eyes open," Alwyn promised. And that was the end of their conversation. The duo walked to the top of the mountain and saw the other side. "See the bottomless pit over there at the end of that valley?" Snowflake asked. "Yes, is that it? Is that the lava world?" "The one and only," Snowflake replied. "Ugh, it looks like it's still far away," Alwyn complained. "All right, let's go. At least we'll be going downhill this time." Chapter 6, Potion of Fire Resistance. Several hours later, both Alwyn and his pumpkin-head snowman reached the entrance to the lava world. Its spikes and morbid decorations were anything but welcoming, but Alwyn was determined to get his dog back. "What an awful place," Alwyn said. "I can't even imagine how Timber must feel if he is down here." "He is, I know so," Snowflake said. "Now, all you need to do is to get those 3 ingredients, and then I will be able to brew a potion of fire resistance. And when I drink it, I will be able to follow you into the lava world. If I go now, I will melt within seconds. It's not worth it." "I agree," Alwyn said. "I will get them while you stay here." He treaded forward and noticed all the lava around him. Platforms and rocks were floating by, and lava falls were visible in the distance. The first ingredient was almost too easy. "Ah, over there," Alwyn said. He hopped from one rock to another and ended up on a bigger platform. He dug into the sand and pulled out a lava world wart. "That's one," he said out loud as he stuffed it into his backpack. "Now let's see where I can find some glowstone." The young hero looked around for a few minutes and then spotted a wall of glowstone. It stood out from the other materials, with its yellowish color and its glowing appearance. "Got it," Alwyn said. "That's 2. Now I just need a ghost tear, the hardest thing on my little recipe list." As he kept hopping from rock to rock, he kept looking for a ghost, when suddenly a ghost flew over his head. "Whoa, that was close," Alwyn exclaimed. "What was that?" He looked. "Aha," he said. "Just what I needed. Come here, you filthy ghost." The ghost spat fireballs at him, but he dodged all of them. Then the ghost flew at him. Alwyn was ready. He held his axe back a little, waiting for the best moment to strike. Tsak! The ghost was wounded. Alwyn had cut it with his axe. It fell into the lava, but before it did, it dropped a tear. Alwyn held up his hand to catch it. "Gotcha," he said. "That actually wasn't so bad. Evading all those fireballs was a special challenge, but I did it. Now let's go back to Snowflake. He hopped back and ran over some platforms to get to his cold friend, the snowman. When he arrived, Alwyn took the ingredients out of his pocket and presented them to the wise snowman. "Good job, Alwyn. Now I will be able to accompany you on your quest in the underworld." Chapter 7. Skeletons. After creating and drinking the potion of fire resistance, the two friends went into the lava world. Now they were stronger. They were together. Nothing could stop them. Snowflake still left a trail of snow behind him, but the snow immediately melted on the burning rocks and the soul sand. "Where do we look? It's so big," Alwyn asked. "I think that if we keep searching, we may get a good idea of where that blaze is. See the traces over there? It has been here. The ground is a little burnt, so it must have come this way." "That makes sense," Alwyn said. "Let's go behind those walls. It seems like that's where the trail of burnt ground is going." As they kept walking, Snowflake and Alwyn suddenly sensed something. There was disaster in the air. Something wasn't right. They were being watched. They could feel it, but they didn't know by whom or what. "Do you have a hunch too?" Alwyn asked. "Something is wrong, isn't it?" "Yes, and I think those spikes on top of that rock formation are part of it. Doesn't that seem like a place where enemies would hide?" "It does. It gives me the creeps." However, the trail led past the rocks, and they both agreed it would be better to stay on track and stay alert. Then it happened. They knew it would, but for some reason the moment still startled them. 10 skeletons jumped from behind the rocks and stood ready to fight the two intruders. Some of them were holding swords, while others were armed with bows and arrows. "Get out of our way!" Alwyn yelled. "They won't move," Snowflake said. "They are skeletons. Do you really think they care?" "I guess you're right. We'll have to do it the hard way." After those remarks, Alwyn stormed at the skeletons and began a fight. The skeletons crossed swords with his axe, and the archer skeletons aimed at the snowman. "Oh, no, you don't," Snowflake said, and he took a chunk of snow from his back. Then he formed a snowball out of it and threw it at the skeletons. Bang! Boff! Piff! Paff! "Yee-haw! 4 in a row!" the snowman exclaimed as he watched the snowball bounce from one skeleton to the other. In the meantime, Alwyn was having a hard time with the other 6. "Could you give me a hand?" he shouted. "Of course, I will certainly help you out." Snowflake sped towards the fighting scene and whacked one skeleton after the other into the lava. The skeletons were no match for his brutal strength, and one by one they all died. "Nice job," Alwyn said. "I couldn't have done it better myself. You definitely come in handy here. I am glad I got the potion so you could join me on my quest." "I told you it would be worth your while. Let's continue to follow the trail." Eventually, when they turned around the corner of the big rocks, they saw exactly what they were looking for. Alwyn's dog, held captive in a cage by a mean, fierce blaze. "Wow, you were right all along," Alwyn said to the snowman. "It was a blaze." "It is a blaze. Now we have to defeat it." The blaze didn't hesitate. As soon as it saw the two travelers, it began to shoot fireballs at them. Alwyn hid behind Snowflake, and Snowflake threw snowballs back at the same time. Splash! Pfft! All the fireballs the blaze shot at them were met by one of the snowballs the big snowman put together by taking chunks of snow from his belly or back. It was a spectacular confrontation, but none of them were winning, and the worst of it was that Snowflake was shrinking. "You're becoming smaller," Alwyn said. "Why do you keep taking snowballs from yourself? There isn't going to be anything left when you're done." "Don't worry about me," Snowflake said as he threw another snowball at an oncoming fireball. "I am distracting it. Go around and hit it with your axe." Okay, I'm going," Alwyn said as he sped towards the blaze in front of him. He maneuvered his way around the fireballs and snowballs and crack! With his axe, he chopped the blaze in half. It fell on the ground, and Alwyn stepped over it, saying, "That's what you get for abducting my dog, stupid blaze." Alwyn kicked the cage open, and his husky came running at him, almost knocking him over and elaborately licking his face. "Timber!" Alwyn exclaimed. "I missed you, buddy. Glad to see that you're okay." But then he looked at the snowman behind him, who had almost completely melted away. "Snowflake!" Alwyn shouted. Chapter 8. He Will Be Back. The snowman's owner went down on his knees and observed what was left of his creation. The snowman was gone. All that was left was his head and the pumpkin on it. "What happened?" Alwyn asked.
"Well, I used up all my snow to throw it against those fireballs," Snowflake's head said. "And then for some reason I began to melt. I think the potion's effect is wearing off."
"Don't leave us," Alwyn said. "You've been such a great help, such a good friend."
"Woof, woof,"
Timber barked. After that, he licked Snowflake's face. "Stop, Timber," Alwyn said sternly but calmly. "I think you're making it worse."
"It's okay, Alwyn,"
the snowman's head said.
"I won't be gone forever."
"When will you be back?"
"Every time you make another snowman, just save the pumpkin and you can recreate me any time you want. Well, any time there is snow, but during this time of the year, that shouldn't be a problem."
"So what you're saying is that I can revive you any time by building another snowman and putting a pumpkin on its head?"
"That's what I just said, didn't I? It's super obvious, and there is nothing to worry about."
Alwyn looked at the snowy head. He looked at the lava world with its lava streams and floating objects. He looked at his dog. "Okay, Snowflake, if you say so, I will just save the carved pumpkin head for later. See you around. It has been a pleasure knowing you."
"The pleasure was all mine,"
Snowflake said.
"Now go, get out of here before any other monsters show up."
"Good idea." As the remainder of the snow was melting, Alwyn picked up the pumpkin and signaled his husky to follow him. Together they hopped from platform to platform, from rock to rock, and eventually out of the lava world. "I am relieved," Alwyn said. "I never want to come back here again. Come on, Timber. We have a snowman to build." That night, the young hero and his dog went home, and the next day they built a new snowman. Alwyn placed the pumpkin as a helmet on its head and waited, making the same wish before he went to bed. The next day, an old friend greeted him. Alwyn didn't complain about the weather anymore. Ever again. The end. This has been Winter Book for Kids, story about a snowman, adventure stories for kids. Written by Jeff Child, narrated by John H. Feskins. Copyright 2017 by Jeff Child. Production copyright 2017 by Jeff Child.